right, Stephen Key here, and I have a special guest today. I have a patent attorney that's licensed an idea. Is that correct, Paul?
That is correct, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Well, you're the first. I think probably our first student that's a patent attorney that actually went ahead and licensed an idea. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's taken a while, but I thought it was important.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, so people can understand that you are a patent attorney. I think you also do some teaching as well, and you help inventors, don't you? So tell us a little bit about
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah. Well, I've been a patent attorney for over 20 years now, and I started off in a medium-sized firm. And about 5 years ago, I started my own practice. We represent many, say, very high-end clients: Dell, EMC, Dolby, Advanced Micro Devices, 3D Systems. And then, well, I got started into started working with startup companies, and
Okay.
this was part of a effort to give back. I graduated from Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo. Had a client come in, and he said, you should really give something back to the university. So I worked with the Cal Poly Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship,
Okay.
and so I started lecturing there, which led to various other things. Fast forward, I guess it's been 6 years now, and now I'm an adjunct professor at the University of San Francisco School of Law, teaching patent law. So, but I think that there's a huge issue in that there's so much confusion with patent law that the more I talk to people, the more I understand that nobody really understands the whole big picture.
Well,
And like you said, making mistakes can be very costly,
okay.
and it's something that I'd like to minimize as much as possible.
Well, we like to hear that. So, wow. Do you help independent inventors? I mean, it sounds like you just do big companies. Do you help us little guys too?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, well, I hate to say it, but I think that for big companies, the patents it's a numbers game, and,
Okay.
and they have certain number of patents that they want filed and receive every month. And you meet with the inventor once, you file the patent application, and that's pretty much it. You work with the patent office, you get the patent granted, and certainly people are happy to get their patents, but it's not a life or death type of thing.
Okay.
Whereas with small inventors, they're much more passionate about their technology, and
Okay.
and so I really, actually, I hate to say, enjoy working with small inventors more than big companies, but I do.
Okay. Well,
And it's just rewarding to see companies go from inception to becoming fairly successful in numerous cases.
so Paul, it's kind of odd. I mean, so you're a patent attorney and you're also an inventor?
Yes. Well, I was a design engineer for 7 years before
Okay.
going to law school. And when you are an engineer, you work in one area of technology, and that's fine. But after 7 years, it gets a little bit old. And
Okay.
somebody said, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a mechanical engineer." And they said, "You could be a patent attorney." So I made that transition, and it's been probably one of the best decisions of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, just really working with all sorts of inventions and inventors and companies, and so, as a design engineer, you've always want to do your own designs.
Okay.
And so thought, well, to really understand the needs of my startup clients, it'd probably be a good idea to just try to start my own company and
Okay.
file some patent applications and go through the whole process of licensing and manufacturing and selling products.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I've done.
Well, you know what's really interesting about that, and I think it's brilliant that you're actually a patent attorney that's going through the process. So it's like, I think it gives you a different perspective, especially when you're working with startups and inventors, what they're kind of going through, and maybe why it's important, or maybe why it's not so important, or maybe some other tools. I think that gives you a different perspective than most patent attorneys have.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I hate to say it, but the patents were the very easiest part of my business.
Okay.
But when I started my business and I approached companies to license my technology, yeah, there were a lot of questions about the patent rights. And there was even, say, discussion about whether there were design rounds possible or whether the company actually needed to license my technology,
Okay.
which were a little unnerving,
Of course.
but it all worked out in the end.
Okay.
So,
So you have a product you license. It's selling now on Amazon, isn't it?
well, it's being sold by Flipbelt.
Okay.
So it's just called the Flipbelt running light. They may be selling it on Amazon.
Okay.
I haven't even looked yet to see whether that's happening. But
Okay.
we're still very early.
All right.
I got my first royalty check for 1 month's worth of sales. So it's I'm hopeful that they'll be very
All right.
successful.
Yeah, we'll put it up on the video so people can find it and see it. I think they'll be fascinated by it because it's a fairly simple idea, isn't it?
Oh yes. Right, it is, and I think that a lot of even my people that have lectured to have joked that it is ridiculously simple, but that's particularly why you need patent protection for simple ideas.
Okay.
It's much more important for if I didn't have patents, there's absolutely no way that I'd be able to license
Got it.
any of this.
Okay.
So, but it's while it is very simple, it's very important as well, and it functions in a way that nobody else had thought of in the
Nice.
past.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process a little bit.
Mhm.
You had mentioned that the patenting process is a lot easier than maybe going through the licensing process. Okay, so
Well, I think the licensing was not even that bad. I'm also attempting to manufacture and sell my own line of products, and that is much more difficult than I could have ever imagined. And while I like designing, I like working in particular. It's a very high-end running light.
okay,
So this weekend is there's a race called the Western States 100. And so there are a few runners that are going to be using the light in
okay,
this very high-end race, and I'm just hopeful that they're going to be successful and the lights are going to function properly. And there's constant. What
okay.
I really enjoy is the research and development and working with um, uh, really clients to
Okay.
satisfy their needs.
Okay.
So.
So when you were, what was, like, tell me about when you were licensing the product. Was it easy to get the companies? Was that a hard part or easy part for you to reach out to a potential licensee? Was that hard?
Well, I hate to say it, but I targeted one specific company,
Okay.
and the whole product was based upon a modification of an existing company's very successful product. And so it was fairly easy. I think what was interesting is that I'll just talk through the whole process. I sent them. They had a contact us link. I contact them. I said I have a product that you might be interested in. They got back to me. They asked for a couple of samples. I sent them some samples. They liked the samples. Then they said we would like more samples, and so I had an inventory of about 100
Okay.
units, and so I made them, shipped them to them, and they were going to go through a test sales, which got delayed by I think about 8 months or so.
Okay.
So during that holding period, it was a little bit, you didn't really know what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call saying that we need more immediately. They'd sold out in 2 days.
Wow.
And so from there, things moved fairly quickly, but it was, you have to be objective about these things, I think.
Okay.
And so the negotiation was not particularly easy, and at one point it even broke down.
Okay.
But in the end, I think that came up with the numbers that we wanted and the terms that we wanted.
Why did it break down, Paul? What happened that it broke down?
Well, as an engineer, I'm constantly improving my product.
Okay.
And so what I licensed to this company was the first generation of my design.
Okay.
Since then, I've come up with the second generation, which is favored by ultra marathoners.
Okay.
And the issue that we had is that the licensee wanted exclusivity to all my patents.
Oh.
And so exclusivity means that I could not make my own product if I was giving them an exclusive license. Okay. And so this was just, a term of art that was critical. Okay. Because I am very interested in continuing to develop my product, and most of my high-end or elite runners want this product, and it would have been a situation where we would not have been able to work on or manufacture this product.
Okay.
And so things broke down, and they said no exclusivity, no deal. And that lasted for a couple months. And then they came back to the table, and we were able to negotiate better terms.
Okay. Was it nerve-wracking?
It was initially, yes, but then you just need to say this is a business transaction. Okay. It's nothing personal. Don't get upset, and just leave it at that. And so once I changed my mental attitude, things were a lot better. And I mean, I hate to say that my attitude was, that's fine. If you don't want to do this deal, that's fine. But that's kind of what worked for me. So.
Well, I guess if you can walk away from any deal, or if you have the power to say no, it's pretty powerful, isn't it?
Well, yes. I mean, it's when somebody says no deal, you can either sulk or get on with your life. So.
Wow. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Paul. I mean, I think it's interesting. And like I said before, I really appreciate that someone in your profession to go through the process, to have that firsthand knowledge of that commercialization of an idea.
Sure.
I think it's...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it really helps my patent law practice as well.
I do. I think it's unique.
People get patents and then they say, now what do I do? And I say, well, you license it or you make it or you do something. And they say, well, how do you do that? And now I have a much better understanding of what you do and how you do it. And I can point to this whole process as an example. So. And
that first check's probably kind of fun to see too, isn't it?
It was a direct deposit. But I'm waiting for my next quarterly check to arrive, and we'll see how well they're selling. But it's been all very positive reviews, and so it's my hope and expectation that it will sell well.
Very good.
We'll see.
Very good. Paul, thank you very much for coming on InventRight TV.
Oh, my pleasure.
And I wish you all the success in the world, and keep inventing. I guess that's what Andrew always says, doesn't he?
I am, and I'm up to several more patent applications filed, and with each improvement, we're filing more patent applications. So.
Wonderful. We'll put some information down below where people can contact you if they have any ideas and need some help. Okay.
Okay. Very good. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Stephen.